about what we're doing. All of his players, he has said, worry about you today. Play clean, and they'll have a chance to redeem themselves.
Thank you, Holly. 5 times they have faced off with the Sooners in the last 3 trips to the tournament and have come up empty. Is this the day they change things around, or will it be more Boomer Sooner? Winner of this one is into the national semifinals. 1 win away from a return to the championship series. They'll get the day off tomorrow and play on Monday. Loser will come back and play tomorrow. Tegan Cavan is the sophomore from West Des Moines, Iowa. Spectacular through her first 2 seasons. 25-5 on the year, but she has yet to come up with a win against Oklahoma, hoping today's the day.
Well, Tegan Cavan, when she is upright and on target, she's going to be at 70 miles an hour. She also has a changeup at 56 miles an hour, but it's a rise ball at multiple levels. When that pitch is hopping, when her mechanics are good and she's strong and upright, that pitch is explosive.
These 2 teams met at the end of April in Norman, a sweep for OU, but it was an all-out slugfest. The offenses ruled the days. Can the pitchers strike back here this afternoon? Starting lineups brought to you by Capital One. Oklahoma, the highest remaining seed in the tournament. They will be the visitors today. Ella Parker, 2 for 4 on Thursday with the 2 home runs. She drove them all in their victory over Tennessee. And she and Cassidy Pickering have been lights out at the top of this lineup. 3 starters returning from last year's championship team, and 2 of them will get things rolling. And it's Cassidy Pickering, who hit a couple of home runs last year in the championship series off the Longhorns for Patty Gasso. Now in her 41st season at the helm. She's been in Norman since 1995. Ball. And the first team All-American steps in and takes ball 1 from Cavan. One of 6 Sooners with double-digit home runs. The team was second best in the country in that department.
And their slug is at the top. I mean, they can slug throughout the lineup, but a lot of times you kind of ease in with some short game. That's not pick and park. Last 5 games, 8 home runs between these 2.
With 20 runs batted in. As Pickering takes a strike, 2-1. Cavan named a second-team All-American. Threw a complete game, got the win against Florida, allowing just a couple of hits on Thursday. Only used 1 strikeout, guys. The defense behind her was terrific.
Well, that's what she's going to need. She's going to have to mix speeds like she did on that last one, 59-mile-an-hour changeup and pitch to contact. You're not going to strike out a lot of Sooners. This is a team that doesn't strike out much.
More walks than strikeouts as a team this year.
No.
Well, we start out with a full count for Tegan Cavan. This season, boy, tough sledding in 2 losses to the Sooners. Everybody else, she was sub-2 ERA.
Texas not afraid to shift their defense. Caden Henry playing that left center field gap. In fact, Katie Stewart all the way over, hugging that left field line. Leaves a big mighty gap. Look over in right center field. That gap over there because everyone shifted to the left side.
Pickering, the sophomore out of Humboldt, Texas. 1 for 4 in their opener. And smashes that foul down the line. Well, we heard Holly and the report on Mike White. There's no avoiding the Oklahoma across the chest. So any advice for trying to overcome a mental block that they've had against the Sooners and break through here today?
Well, I think a lot of it is just worrying about the feet that are in the box, not looking at the uniform, and that is just.
See, she said she saw chalk. It was the dirt coming up.
But, you know, at some point, you know, Beth, you have to just focus on the game, throwing the pitch, executing, barreling up balls. It doesn't matter who your opponent is, it's the same game.
8th pitch of this at-bat. Pickering gets under it and sends it out to Caden Henry in center. 1 down. the sophomore from Los Angeles. A first-team All-American again this season, even though she really has only played about half the year, and that hasn't been 100% healthy.
Ball.
Battling a lower leg issue and her right leg and foot all season long. Most of her time off the field, she's in a boot. But that hasn't affected her swing once she's gotten comfortable with dealing with it and handling the pain.
She's dealing with a lot of pain, so it's impressive that she's been able to figure out how to deal with it. You talk about the first 43 games versus the last 13. Wow. Are you kidding me? 500 batting average. 363 wasn't bad either, but got even better.
And just the powers return, right? 9 home runs in her last 14 games. I mean, she has just been swinging it.
Tegan Cavan with a 1-2 count when we come back. Check out the starting lineups brought to you by Capital One. And Thursday was unofficially Jolie Mitchell Day in Bevo Country with a pair of home runs as they beat Florida and got the 3-0 shutout. Katie Stewart also hit one out. And so here comes Texas for the first time to face Sam Landry, who's 5-0 in the NCAA tournament. She's won her last 6 starts, and during the regular season, beat Texas twice, once as a starter and once in relief. Transfer from Louisiana. The latest in a long line of outstanding pitchers for Patty Gasso at OU.
And look at immediately, Oklahoma goes to this unique defensive style right behind Sam Landry.
Ball.
Trying to counteract all that speed of Maloney in that leadoff spot.
There's no one in right field. I feel like that's the big yes. Everyone is now on the left side of the infield for that short game, but there is nobody, not even shifted over. You get the ball to the grass over there, I mean, that could be a home run.
That is the right fielder, Sydney Barker, currently playing second base. Adbayani has moved over to short. Garcia plants herself in the 5-6 hole against Ashton Maloney, one of the top hitters in this NCAA tournament. Went 0 for 3 against the Gators on Thursday.
Well, and as a hitter, when you see this defensive alignment against you, you know every pitch is going to be on the outer half.
She cannot come inside. If she does, it better be in, because Maloney is able to get around anything. She's going to have a whole lot of fun.
Ball.
Staying away, but missing the corner. 2-2. Maloney, the junior from Liberty, Missouri, has a hit in 9 of her last 10 and 61 infield hits as a slapper, third most in the country. Works the count full.
Funny, look at where those hits are, Beth. I mean, it's a whole heck of a lot of them, but a lot of them are short game over to where all of the Sooners are now playing defense. The analytics getting into softball, understanding exactly where the ball's going to go.
Chops that foul. Maloney, one of those 400 hitters at the top of this lineup. No longer the 40 acres at Texas, but the 400 acres at the top of the order. Another 3-2, and there is Garcia to make the play. Well positioned on the shift, one down.
This is the reason why Oklahoma does this. It's the shift right here. It puts Garcia in that 5-6 hole. Normally, if Garcia's in a normal position, that potentially is a base hit through the 5-6 hole, but nope. Garcia's right there to scoop it up. Can't get it past that wall there on the left side.
And not having to go to her backhand, but her forehand. Yeah. So it allows her to throw her out easier.
First pitch swinging for Caden Henry out of Dickinson, Texas. All SEC second teamer. So on Thursday, the 2 newcomers here to the SEC beat 2 of the old timers in the SEC to stay in the winner's bracket.
So Keaton Henry is very similar in that she will do a whole lot of short game, a ton of speed, but you see they're not shifting her. They're playing regular defense because Henry will spray it. She's got 3 home runs on the season as well. She can find a gap. You don't want to risk it as much with Keaton Henry.
Yeah, left side will be up, right side is back. That's Sid Sanders at first, way back behind the bag.
Ball.
Agbayani as well, deep in that second base hole. So expecting a little bit more power to that right side.
She's almost a perfect hybrid of the 2 batters that bookend her. Ashton Maloney in front of her short game, Mia Scott at the pop behind her.
Henry does have 22 bunt singles this season, but she'll swing there. Out chasing after. That's a single season record, 446 batting average. Big bat.
Boy, and that error by Agbayani, the throwing error that allows Mia Scott to go over to third. Just her second error of the season. A Gold Glove winner. Second baseman Agbayani is, but because of that error, Scott's at third, gives Atwood the opportunity for the sacrifice fly.
Ball.
And that will bring up Jolie Mitchell, the grad student from Rosebud, Arkansas, with the 2 home runs on Thursday. A couple of solo shots. Just as impressive for Jolie, she sent 1 to left center and 1 to right center against the Gators.
Ball.
First Texas player to do that, hit a couple out in the same World Series game. Big start for the Longhorns, who have lost 22 of the last 25 head-to-head meetings, and they have not beaten Oklahoma in the state of Oklahoma since 2014. That's 25 games in a row.
It's been dominating. I mean, Oklahoma has just really had their number. They've intimidated them, and you could just tell that Texas rarely has played their best softball against Oklahoma, and I think that's what Mike White wants. He's like, let's just go out and play Texas softball, play our best version of ourselves.
Landry gets her upstairs for her first strikeout, but a couple on the board. 1 done. And our winners bracket Saturday. The winner moves on to the national semifinals. And it's
she has made a full recovery, and here she is on the softball field pacing the Longhorns. Very resilient spirit. Her mom said it's kind of like a Rudy story, but for softball in Notre Dame.
She did start out with the Irish, 4 years there, got her degree. And actually, she told us this week she was watching Texas in 2022 when they were in the Champ Series. As an unseeded team, she loved their spunk and their fight.
Ball.
And she said, if I'm going to go play somewhere else and try and play for a championship, that's where I want to go. And a hero for them in the early going of this tournament. Here's Sid Sanders for OU, 6'7", coming up to face Tegan Cavan.
Tell Tegan Cavan early on wants to live down in the zone. She wants those ground balls. It's what she saw in the first inning. Even the base hits, she'll take a ground ball through the infield. She wants to keep the ball out of the air.
Well, just to your point, that's exactly how she beat Florida in Game 1. She's been outstanding here at the Women's College World Series as a freshman this year against Florida, and it's because she's developed a drop this year. She was very heavy rise ball last year as a freshman, a lot more down this year.
Ball.
She's 3-1 in her World Series career. The 1 loss was to Oklahoma. The 3 wins were all complete game shutouts. She beat Nigeri Kennedy twice last year and Keegan Rothrock on Thursday. So OU is the bugaboo for Texas, and they're trying to exercise that here today. Full count to Sanders, who's very good at drawing walks.
Ball.
And she'll get one there to lead off the second inning.
Kavana's done a good job of really creating more vertical separation this year. Last year, she was very heavy rise ball, almost 80%. This year, she's lowered the rise ball. She's increased that drop ball to 25% usage. And that's over the season. Here at the World Series, she has been a lot more heavy down ball, trying to induce those ground outs and let her defense play for her.
And a lot more of those drop balls on Thursday. Tim Walton was even talking about that in his postgame, the Florida coach. Yeah, you know, a lot more down than we've seen in the past from her. And she gave up just 2 hits to one of the best lineups in the country.
Well, I think the challenge for her today is that Chris Neighbors, the home plate umpire, has a little bit of a different zone, so not getting some of those lower pitches. So she's going to have to mix in a little bit more of that rise ball. Oklahoma's very good at laying off pitches out of the zone.
Agbayani, one of the 6 new additions to the starting lineup this year. The transfer from BYU, originally from Hawaii. Looking for her first hit of the World Series. Walked and scored on Thursday.
That ball foul.
It was her 7th inning drawn walk that ended up being the big difference in that game. She got on base, Pickering singled, and that allowed Ella Parker to come to the plate and hit a walk-off home run.
Ball.
The Sooners just have a way of being able to capitalize on the free passes.
Agbayani actually just moved off the plate. That 2 pitches before, she fouled one off her shin, and now she's backed off the plate, trying to protect Kavan getting in and inside on her. They come back there.
Inside pitch.
And that's going to be the key for Kavan this year is going, excuse me, for this game is going to be attacking those lefties, being able to get them out. Her split on batting average against is higher on the left for the lefties than it is the righties.
Start things off 6, 7, and 8 coming up for Texas in a 2-2 game.
Ball.
Scored twice in the first. With speed on the bases, they were very disruptive. And now a slugger to the plate. Homer against Florida on Thursday. A couple of home runs against Michigan in the regionals in a single game. Top 10 in the country in runs batted in with 77. That one's in for a strike from Sam Landry.
She does such a good job.
Well, and she just really does a good job of stepping off. Look how far to the left she is. She's almost out of that pitcher's lane. She'll step far left and shoot that ball back underneath the righties. Trying to throw that screwball.
Ball.
She's really trying to work that angle.
It's hard for lefties, too. That was one of the toughest pitches to hit as a left-handed hitter. Righties, too. She creates a very unique angle.
Ball.
And ball 4 to Katie Stewart. Lead off aboard.
So this is what Sam Landry will do in order to really mix up her pitches. Look at the way she's really going to come off to that left side, almost outside of that pitching lane, so that she can shoot the ball back underneath the hands of right-handed hitters. Just a lot of movement. She'll throw a curveball across her body to her glove side of the plate, but she really likes to live on that arm side. Screwball as well as a backdoor curveball.
swing.
Snap throw down first. Stewart is able to dive back in. To Leanne Good.
Ball.
And our rules expert, Christy Cornwell. Tell us about that pitching lane and what is legal and not.
Well, the pitching lane is the area that the pitcher is restricted to when she lands. However, in this case, if any part of her foot is on or touching the line, she's considered within the lane. So you can see on that pitch she was good.
And they got a double play. Sanders to Garcia.
Well, I think Texas is going to ask for a replay on this, because as soon as you take the force off at first base and you get the out there, you have to then make the tag on Katie Stewart at second.
Ruling on the field is out at second base. Texas is challenging that ruling. The play is under review.
All right. Let's take a look. Oh, and her foot popped up, it looked like on the slide, and may not have been down on the base. Here's a better angle. Ooh, is the heel in there?
That's hard to
Garcia's
see.
knee is blocking that look.
Call is out, so they would need video evidence that shows she's safe to change it. Yeah, the cleats got hung up on the dirt there.
A good job by Gabby Garcia, knowing that she's got to apply the tag. It's no longer a force out.
Oof. And the tag is applied, it looks to the ankle or the top of the foot.
I mean, if they had called her safe, I would say she's safe. Because they call her out, is it enough to overturn?
Yeah, I agree, Jess. I don't know that there's enough video evidence to show that the foot gets there for the tag.
Yeah, that foot popping up in the air, I think, will prove costly. Much bigger target for Garcia. As it stands, it would be the 6th double play of the tournament.
After
for the
review,
Sooners.
the call is upheld. The runner is out. That's Texas's first challenge.
2 down. And that erases the leadoff walk.
28th double play of the year for the Sooners.
So nobody on now for Katie Simmons, who gets the start as a designated player today. Her 6th at-bat of the NCAA tournament. They've used several different folks as the DP pretty much throughout the course of the year. Mike White tries to find the hottest bat at any given moment. Katie has World Series experience and has it against Oklahoma.
Ball.
Mike White says sometimes it's just righty or lefty. Sometimes if we know we're going to need somebody who can bunt well down the bottom of the order, we'll go with her. All depends on the matchups. Here's the 2-1 from Landry.
Ball.
For Katie Simmons, I think it's more about a combination of contact. She's got some pop too, but who he's been putting in this slot have been a lot more power and less contact. They're going to strike out a lot more, and he does not want strikeouts. He wants the ball to be put in play.
Full count. Similar to the opener, Smitty, Landry's been living on the edge here with a lot of full counts, a lot of 3-ball counts.
A high pitch count, 35 pitches already. Just a 2nd inning.
And her 2nd walk of the inning. And now Katie Bennett will try and make amends for the error in the top half of the inning. In the 9th spot in the order.
This is the part of the lineup that Texas has really tried to focus on, just to try to make something happen, roll it over to those 400 acres, as you like to call them, BMO.
In for a strike to Bennett. Oh for 1 with a walk against Florida.
Ball.
Go ahead run down at first for the Horns with 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the 2nd.
Ball.
Missing to that pitch low in the zone that Sam Landry has been able to really target at the knees. Drop balls just a little bit low out of the zone. She's backwards this inning, 11 balls, so just 7 strikes.
Chops that out to left center. Dayton calling for it, and she's got it. Side retired with a runner left on, and a 2-2 ball game. Come back and play elimination games tomorrow. Beth Bowens, Jessica Mendoza, Michelle Smith, Holly Rowe with you in this rematch of last year's final, won by the Oklahoma Sooners. In fact, OU has won 4 in a row, twice beating Texas. To the top of the 3rd, it's Gabby Garcia and 4, 5, and 6 to face Tegan Cavan. Both their runs coming from the bottom of the order in the last inning. Garcia hacks that to 2nd. Bennett with the range. 1 down.
Nice job by Bennett to go get that ball. Looked like it was going to sneak through the 3-4 hole.
That range. So the infield move different positions throughout the season.
Here's Sydney Barker. Popped up to 2nd with a couple runners on base, her first time up to end that 1st inning.
Just to your point, that it all started, right, all that shifting of the defense for Texas, all started at the Oklahoma series in Norman. They brought Katie Stewart in to play short, decided that they wanted Leanne Good to be able to go back to her original position, which is 2nd base, even though now she's at that shortstop position.
It's unusual to have your left fielder be your shortstop. And right now, what was your left fielder be your 2nd baseman? Those aren't where you see a lot of transition back and forth.
Well, and it didn't work great, which is why in the postseason, at this point in the season, they're like, all right, we need to make some switches again.
Well, of course, the reason that all started is because their All-America candidate and shortstop Viviana Martinez got hurt in the offseason. They had everybody coming back pretty much before Martinez got hurt. So this is by far the much more experienced group Texas is than Patty Gasso's club, with all the newcomers experiencing the World Series for the first time. Texas has several that have been down this road before, including Atwood and Mia Scott. Another chase of the rise. Strikeout number 2 for Cavan.
One of the things you know when you see the ball out of the hand of Cavan, she's got that multi-level rise ball, uses it again to give her 2nd strikeout of the game using that rise ball.
What you got, Holly Rowe?
Well, right before that pitch, I saw Mia Scott go over and give some words of encouragement to Tegan Cavan. This is because of a meeting that they had before the NCAA tournament started. Tegan was saying, I need more support. In the circle, she had turned around and seen what she described as worried eyes from her defenders behind her, and she said, I need you guys to hype me up and get me pumped up. So Mia Scott, who's usually pretty quiet over there, is over there yelling at Tegan, walked all the way to the circle to give her some words of encouragement. Result, strikeout. That's teamwork.
Yeah, that took place in the Super Regionals. They had to win a couple of elimination games against Clemson as Mitchell
Immediately, by the way, because as soon as they called timeout, showed that slow-mo, I've never seen anything like that.
Just when you think you've seen it all around a softball field over 30 years, nope, that's a new one.
Leave it to Brian Sachs and Wes Archer to catch that for us. And that
amazing crew.
That night crew.
Yeah. Saxy behind the plate.
Led by Seth Miller and Mike Griffin, our Dayside guys in the truck.
Amazing team.
Our spectacular crew here, bringing you the sights and sounds of the Dayside with Kerry Callahan, Anthony DeMarco, and our cast of hundreds.
That's
right. Yeah, this is the 43rd Women's College World Series, celebrating the 20th anniversary of the championship series that started back in 2005. This year's will get underway when we get down to the final two teams. Best 2 out of 3 starting on Wednesday. And the semifinals, as you just saw, will be on Monday.
Ball.
Here's Ashton Maloney back to the top. Facing Landry.
Back to that shift. No right fielder, 3 on the left side.
Last time the shift worked, guys, for Oklahoma, as Maloney found the 5-6 hole blocked by the shortstop, Gabby Garcia, who had slid over.
It's super unique to even look at, to see 5 infielders.
Yeah, and there's no secrets. Bella Emmerling, even the catcher, sets up early on the outer half of the plate. And there you can see them. They're all right over there. So Maloney.
So what I would see is right field.
Yes.
But I hit. So I'd be like, oh, please, please give me something middle in.
Is it at all possible, do slappers practice swinging away at all? Like in a situation like this, like, wow, would she be tempted to just try a swing once?
In a situation like this, but also I think, Jess, right, if there's runners in scoring position, a lot of times it takes the slaps advantage away.
And it was a slugfest. Tons of home runs, tons of runs scored.
Both sides, yeah.
For both sides. Coming off the 1-2-3 inning in the 3rd. Here we go in the 4th. It's 7-8-9 for Oklahoma.
Well, Mike White made a good point about that weekend of, not winning a game, and said if it's another Jersey that's not Oklahoma, we win a game at least. Yeah. But there has been something mental about when they see Oklahoma and then they get beat. It's like they're just automatically feeling like they're on their heels.
Yeah, a couple of close games that they just create a different mind shift. Probably in those games, winning those games.
Ball.
Fighting. This is a Texas team. They can be scrappy. They've got a lot of not just energy, but there's a lot of sass there. It did not show up that entire weekend, and that's a huge part of their game, is the fact that they do fight. They will make mistakes. They will lose, but how they respond.
Trying to get to the semifinals for the 6th time. They've gone twice under Mike White, 3 times prior to that with Connie Clark. Really good pitching from the likes of Krista Williams and Kat Osterman and Blair Luna over the years for Texas.
Ball.
And Akbayani draws the leadoff walk. Last time in the 2nd inning that happened, Oklahoma scored their 2 runs.
Well, and that was kind of the nemesis as well for Carlin Pickens, right? The last 4 innings, 3 of the last 4, she walked the leadoff batter. I mean, walks are never good, but when you give them up with 2 outs, it's a little bit more difficult for your opponent to score.
Emmerling pops up the bunt. Easy play for Scott. 1 down. Tennessee, by the way, did stay on this side of the bracket, so the winner of this game may run into them again. Tennessee will play tomorrow against the loser of UCLA Texas Tech. That game is coming up tonight on ESPN. Six teams remain. Florida and Ole Miss have been sent home. We expected a lot of parity. There were 4 different teams that were ranked #1 at some point this season, including these 2. But it's been rough going for the top seeds. Look at all the toppling going on. So Oklahoma, Texas, and Tennessee, the only ones left. Those names in black all bounced, including Texas A&M, the #1 seed. Just the 3rd time in history that #1 is not here at the World Series. Five SEC teams made it, 3 remain. It's been 10 years since the SEC last won a championship. Florida went back-to-back in 2014 and 15. Since then, it's been a whole lot of Sooners. 2-2 to Dayton. Rolls 1 to second. Bennett. And they'll just get the lead runner. Good decides not to turn it. That looks like an arrival on the team bus for the Red Raiders. First time here at the World Series. They could be just the 3rd team in 25 years to get to the semifinals in their first trip. Most recently, Odyssey Alexander and JMU back in 2021. Oklahoma did it in 2000. That is the last first-timer to win the World Series. Hasn't happened in 25 years, and for Texas Tech as a 12 seed, they are looking to become the lowest seed to ever win the championship. Pickering coming back at us. Too high, too high. That was too high.
I was trying. You know, it was this game that I caught my foul ball on Norman.
You've already got 1 press box assist this year.
That's right.
Yes.
Katie Stewart, foul ball off of the down at Love's Field.
Big hands as a pitcher.
Exactly. Bam. Actually, I caught it with my right hand, so I protected the left hand.
Ball.
You know. Use the glove hand, not the pitching hand. Same thing with throwing punches, right? Don't use your
Bull Durham.
Pitching hand. Bull Durham. Crash Davis. 2-1 pitch. Top coming back around again for the Sooners. 2-2.
That was a big swing, too, from Cassidy Pickering. That's why the pitch call was so perfect. 58 miles an hour, but did not get picked up.
Ball.
Full count.
Reese Atwood upset with that one, standing up right now, arguing what you rarely see from her. She turned around, had some words.
Yeah, shaking her head.
That's a pitch against this part of the order.
Dayton will be on the run from first. Pickering fouls that one off.
Same location. I think Cassidy Pickering knows, okay, I'm probably not going to get that call twice in a row. But for Tegan Pavon, when you're facing a batter like Cassidy Pickering, you can't have any missed calls.
1 down. Well, the Women's College World Series Championship Series will begin on Wednesday. For more information, go to ncaa.com. Your home for all 90 NCAA championships. Game 1 Wednesday, Game 2 Thursday, and then the if necessary on Friday night.
Come on.
What are the odds, by the way? Well, 85% of the national champions over the last 4 decades have started out 2-0. 77% of the teams that have started out 2-0 play in the finals. It's a big win for one of these sides today. 0-2 to Katie Stewart. Katie hit .444 with a home run against the Sooners in the regular season.
Ball.
Katie stays away.
Nigeria's off-speed pitch a little bit faster today at 59 miles an hour than it was the other day.
1-2 from Landry.
Ball.
Waste that one in the dirt. 2-2.
Ball.
Inside for ball 3, and another change now for Texas.
And I think Katie Stewart thought that was ball 4.
Ball 4. It's a full count.
And you can see the way that Landry, look how far she is to the left, driving that screwball, trying to get underneath the hands of Katie Stewart.
That's out of the lane.
That is out of the lane.
She steps that way even with her curveball, but when she throws her screwball, she is really, really to the left.
So it's gone from an 0-2 count to 3-2. Steve Singleton is now the new third base coach. So they have 4 fresh eyes on the pitcher.
That was mid at bat, by the way, that he jumped out there.
Stewart outside the line and right.
I think a lot of that, though, the reason Singleton's out there, he's the one that communicates to these hitters. You see him walking all the way down to the hitters and coming back. For him to be able to be heard, sometimes in the dugout with these fans, it's a lot harder, but he's walking all the way to the hitters to be able to communicate to them.
Another 3-2 pitch coming. Counts up over 70 now for Landry, and it hits her.
And you can tell Landry is digging so deep in her glove to hide her grip that even just those little things create timing issues for you as a pitcher. Just even where that glove is, how high your hands are.
Mike White back out there in the first base box as well. Trying to find any little clue. Help the hitters know what's coming. In for a strike to Leanne Good.
I mean, he'd love to be able to pick something, but ultimately he's just trying to affect the pitcher. That's the biggest goal. Directly staring, try to change up the rhythm.
Good. And on the run is Barker, and took a circuitous route and does not get to that foul ball, which should have been caught for the second out.
And we've seen this a few times where the run is straight towards the wall. You see it off the bat. Instead of going towards the actual ball, you're going towards the wall. So you see her straight line going towards the line, and then the last second. I don't know if she would have gotten to it anyway.
A natural first baseman. It's only her 8th start out there in right field. Good with a 7-game hitting streak, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs so far in the NCAA tournament.
Trying to pick off of her, so you could see some emotion from Landry getting the strikeout of Good on said changeup pitch. You can see the over-the-top rotation, how she rolls that over. Look at the way that her hand's going to come over that ball. That tight rotation down. Good swings through it for the second out of the inning.
You don't see that emotion, that yelling from Sam Landry. There's another notch of what's happening right now between everything that's going on with Mike White moving to the first base, staring into her glove, the last hit batter.
Here's Katie Simmett. Walked her first time up. Bottom of the order, trying to get something going here for Texas. Right back up the middle and a base hit. Stewart will hold it second, and now the go-ahead in scoring position, and it's Katie Bennett. Does Texas choose to put out a pinch runner at second for Stewart here as the go-ahead run? Looks like they're gonna stay as is. And it flew out to center, back in the second with a runner on base. Texas led 2-0 after the first inning. Oklahoma answered right back with a pair. And now the Horns trying to take that lead back.
Ball.
And this is big right here for Bennett in the 9-hole. She can just somehow work a walk, somehow get on base, turn over that lineup for Maloney, Henry, Scott, and Atwood.
How about some Sunday night baseball coming your way?
How about it?
Dodgers took the opener over the Yankees. I'll beat you to the punch on that one, Jess. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific with baseball tonight. Sunday night
Aaron
countdown.
Judge had 1 home run that was hit a mile.
Yes.
Otani had 2, so just saying.
Judge's was kind of Ella Parker-ish. Ella hit one over
Yes.
the bleachers at Love's Field.
She hit hers farther.
NCAA tournament. And right into the glove of McEnroe Marinas at third. And that will end the threat. Got her to swing at that. 0-1 from Kavan. 2 sophomore All-Americans going head-to-head for a spot in the national semifinals for either Texas or Oklahoma. And Parker gets a hold of one and not enough. Henry to the track. 1 down.
Oh, that's a big exhale. You can almost feel it from all of Texas's team. Change up first pitch, then comes something a little more up in the zone that Ella Parker just misses. It is hard to get her out, you guys, and that is a big one.
Well, and the reason they get her out and the reason she just misses is because of that changeup, right? So she's just a smidge late, and that's really what it is. You're upsetting that timing of the hitter.
Ball.
What I love about Tegan Kavan, the version here in Oklahoma City that's been different from really the regular season is not trying to get the swing and miss. She only had 1 strikeout in their win against Florida, and then her right now just being able to pitch to contact. Trust that defense. I know it's burned her earlier in the game, but she keeps coming back. When she's trying to get swing and miss, her pitch count gets elevated. She puts more pressure on herself. But right now it's about, okay, put the ball in play. I trust those behind me.
McEnroe Marinas swing and a miss. Yeah, Kavan's confidence seems to be growing with every pitch. Trying to find long-term success in a ball game for the first time against Oklahoma.
Ball.
Been so strong against just about everybody else. over the course of her 2 years in Austin. The other thing, of course, is the winner of this game knocks the opponent into the other side of the bracket. You would not see them again until the finals if they can advance through the other side. Either UCLA or Texas Tech, the loser of the game tonight, will cross over into this side of the bracket.
We need a whole visual for how all of that.
Tegan Cavan has been good so far using a mix of pitches. It's that rise ball at the top of the zone, but it's also her ability to mix speeds. 57 miles an hour. Look at the difference between the 69 miles an hour on the top, 59 miles on the bottom. Look at that variation of velocity of when that ball is showing up. The adjustments you have to make as a hitter. Cavan doing a good job of trying to limit damage. Just gives up a hit, though, on that changeup.
Let's go down to Holly Rowe.
Well, Tegan Cavan was struggling late in the season, and Mike White has really, really worked with her on getting back to some of her technical plan. He said, I want you to be analytical and throw a quality pitch with intent. Work on the movement patterns, tighten your spins. But the thing he's really worked on her with is her mindset. He said, an A game from a pitcher only happens about 10 to 15% of the time. The truly great pitchers figure out a way to battle and win with a B game. So Tegan out there playing great, but she's really got to continue to fight hard to close this out with the lead.
Well, it's been a huge reliance on the D behind her. And what I love about the velocity difference and how you see, it's almost like you want to get a tape measure and see that's a difference of 5 to 6 feet of where the ball and where you're making contact. And that's what she's done such a good job of. Keeping these Oklahoma hitters off balance. Even Sid Sanders, though, finding a way to get on base now. Pinch runner Tia Malloy at first base.
Tying run is aboard for Ilana Agbayani. Reached on an error and has walked today. Scored a run. Oklahoma has won 22 of their last 26 games here at the World Series. But not many of those have come when they've fallen behind late in the game. They did rally for the win and a walk-off home run, trailing 3-1 in the bottom of the 7th inning on Thursday night against Tennessee.
It's a team that wins with slug. And you give them opportunity to be able to get the ball in the air. And that's where Tegan Cavan has been trying to keep the ball down. Going up for chase, but down for contact.
Agbayani grounds it to Bennett, who will make the play to first. Tying run in scoring position with one out.
Well, just to your point, if you give Oklahoma opportunities, eventually they will win the opportunity, and that's what happened against Tennessee. Too many free passes, positions where they have the opportunity to walk it off. Oklahoma, they call it Sooner magic. They just have that innate ability to figure out a way to get it done.
Patty Gasso is going to go to a pinch hitter here in Maya Bland. I mean, it's been a different type of season for Gasso and the Sooners with all the newcomers, that great senior class that left, winning 4 straight national championships. She was telling us this week, we love having the doubters out there who don't think we can do it again. She talked about Thursday. We saw fans leaving and not believing in us that we could finish it off, which they did.
Ball.
I'm not yet ready to call them underdogs, but they are embracing a different feel with youngsters going through this experience, many of them for the first time.
They're the number 2 seed. They're the highest seed.
Yeah,
so
they are.
We can't call it.
But I think they believe they are.
Yeah.
And that's what matters. They don't feel like they're the target. I mean, it's a different vibe. This team versus that senior class last year that felt all that pressure. They weren't smiling as much. They knew they had to win. That was the only expectation.
Ball.
And Patty, similar to all the successful coaches in other sports, it starts with fiercely competitive practices. I mean, you got to work your tail off just to break into this lineup. You know, there have been a lot of transfers that have come and gone, trying to figure out what they call the championship mindset.
Sydney Barker working her way into this lineup. She was in the 3-hole during the postseason. She struck out in the 2nd inning, you guys, or 3rd inning, and now she's on the bench. I mean, it happens fast.
And then Maya Bland, who is pinch hitting here, she was fabulous through the middle part of the season. She had some pitch hit home runs. Big one against Oklahoma State, Alabama. Best in the business at setting up that strike zone, holding that so that she gets that and steals that strike. Chris Neighbors behind the dish calling the strike 3. Massive out for Kavan.
An assist to Atwood, her catcher. That's the 5th for Teagan. And now it's up to Abby Dayton to try and get that tying run in against the Texas fight.
Ball.
A moment that it feels like not just a game changer, but a program changer for Texas. One and two.
Rise ball, extra bite. Abby Dayton unable to hold back. Strike 2.
Dayton fights it off.
Abby Dayton, really good 2-strike hitter. Big reason why that last foul ball, you'll see her kind of go to a 3/4 swing. Now she's more about putting it in play. Has ability to lengthen an at-bat with a lot of foul balls.
Ball.
Dayton doesn't chase. Bland awaits at 3rd.
Easton strikes Teagan Kavan. Anytime she'll pitch it in the zone, Dayton fouls it off, waits it, wants Kavan to give her a mistake.
It'll be interesting to see if Kavan, if they come back here with something off speed.
It's got to be down.
That was off speed, but it was up.
1 out of 2.
Lucky. She got lucky, no, but that's the one that gets dropped into the outfield for a hit.
Yeah, no doubt.
Could not hold on to that, and now they'll tag out Dayton on a 3rd strike to end the inning. And Patty Gasso will come argue that was a foul tip that was dropped.
It was a foul tip, which is why Abby Dayton didn't run. It's honestly right why Reese Atwood did not immediately react when she dropped it. She was mad at herself for dropping it. She holds on to it. It's strike 3 and it's an out.
Rise ball.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, she had it in the glove and
Yeah.
it popped out. I don't think the home plate umpire thought that she dropped it.
We have a foul ball. Foul ball. The count's 2 and 2.
You can hear it.
Well, I think Kavan knew it too. She saw it pop out of the glove. So Dayton stays in there. Texas, they had all left the field. They will trot back out. Again, Tia Malloy, the pinch runner down there at 3rd, trying to tie it up for the Sooners.
This is what Abby Dayton does. You guys, we've had a lot of Oklahoma games this year, and we've seen double-digit pitch at bats that Dayton will force a pitcher to do.
Lots of foul balls.
5 straight for Dayton, including the one that was dropped.
Can Kavan overcome that with Atwood in the drop third strike?
Well, this is where Reese is trying to keep her focus and make sure that, look, you cannot make a mistake. When I call this pitch, it's got to be here. You have to stay, not just with your pitches, but also the location.
Freshman All-American last year, a member of the All-World Series team. She was lights out back-to-back with home runs on Thursday.
And that rise ball came in at 64 miles an hour, is a little bit slower than some of the other rise balls that Landry had been throwing.
Base knock. Out into left for Stewart. Aboard for the third time today.
Mitchell, see where she's at. That front foot gets to the very top. You will not see another hitter here unless they're a slapper. Get up there. Be able to stay on top of that pitch that, by the way, struck her out her first at bat. Adjustments being made in game.
Ball.
Yeah, now Bella Emmerling wants to chat with Landry.
Yeah, Emmerling doing a good job of bringing that ball back in. Rise ball almost got away from her. Home run ball.
Well, the Mitchells, I don't know if I don't think Skip's ever going to get on that fishing trip.
No.
She keeps hitting taters. He's got to stay put.
They got a grocery bag of softballs now, too.
4-2 Texas. Remember, Oklahoma erased a 2-run deficit in the 7th Thursday with a walk-off home run. Here's Leanne Good. Hit into a double play and struck out. '100th pitch of the day for Landry. Akbayani gets the lead runner. And that'll be it. Safe at first is good. One down. Of course, the other big thing here is the loser of this game has to come back and play tomorrow. They would face Oregon tomorrow night at 7 o'clock.
Big question, too, and I know they're not there yet, but you mentioned who's coming up for Oklahoma. Cassidy Pickering doesn't get on base. Do you even pitch to Ella Parker? I mean,
well, now that you have a 2-run lead, it's...
You could consider it,
You
right?
could consider it, or just intentionally pitching outside of the zone and see if she chases anything. Because if you put her on, then you're still walking up the tying run. Yeah, all those tough decisions.
That's how dangerous she is. Backs up Garcia. Miami turns. And they'll get the lead once again, 2 outs. That was the conundrum for Tennessee and Karen Weekly on Thursday, and that's what Karen Weekly talked about post-game. Said, you know what, we didn't want to put the winning run on base. But Ella said, well, allow them just be the winning run at the plate. A lot of tough decisions for these coaches.
Karen Weekly. Garnet Pickens, too.
Yeah, I think you have to look at who's done what earlier in the game. I think in the Tennessee game, it was looking at who else was hitting behind Ella Parker. Ella Parker had done the damage, so it's easy to not. But this game, Nellie Mack Garcia's got 2 hits. I don't know that you want to pitch to her.
Yeah, Nellie Mack does not have a hit yet in the World Series. She is Parker's protection. Does have a walk. Here's Katie Bennett. Runner goes, and sliding in safely with a stolen bag is Adele Wallace, the pinch runner. Can Texas get one more? Bennett 0 for 2 in the 9 spot in the lineup.
Ball.
And now Jen Rocha will come out and chat with Landry. No activity in the bullpen, so just trying to get everybody settled down and on the same page.
It'll be interesting to see how Oklahoma plays this, if they're going to have Nellie Mack at third come up in case Wallace were to try to steal third, try to force a bad throw from Emmerling, or if they would have Garcia play a little bit more toward third, and it'd be a foot race between Wallace and Garcia to the bag.
The speed was disruptive, Michelle, in that first inning with a stolen base and an error to get a run in.
And I don't think it's a bad idea to try to potentially force that. Bennett in the 9 hole is about a 250 hitter. You could get maybe an errant throw and steal another run.
Outfield's also way in, so base hit's not going to score.
Yep.
Wallace.
It is 2-0 if Wallace could walk. Tegan Cavan in the 7th inning hits a batter, gives up a hit, but 3 strikeouts to get out of the jam. Cavan, the sophomore, has been fabulous at the World Series. 16 swing and miss here against the Sooners, against a team that does not swing and miss a lot and does not strike out very often.
You guys, they got over the hump. I mean, this wasn't a hump. This was a mountain. This was Everest for this Texas team. Mike White told us, a lot of times you deny it. He said, when